What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Celine Combs. This is Truly Helpful, the podcast. The podcast is truly designed for you and yours. Thank y'all for another episode, man. Coming back and chilling with your boy. So today we're gonna jump right into it, like I always say, but I never really jump into it. But do you know it's just me? Look, today we're gonna be talking about something that kind of just came up in conversation with one of my friends. Today I'm gonna title this "The Onion Theory." All right. So I got a prop here today, all right? This is an onion, as we all know, right? So the onion theory is something about our self-awareness. And this is the ideology that I came up with when I was doing this. I'm going to tell you how this came about first, and then we're going to get into it. So for those who don't know, I'm vegan. So I was making, what was I making? I think spaghetti or something like that, vegan spaghetti or something. And so I got to the noodle part when I was boiling the noodles. That's easy. Made our own tomato based sauce. So it was really cool. But I got to the hardest part of cooking this meal, which is to cut the onion. Okay? Because as we all know, on the outside of the onion, like I'm smelling this onion right now, I smell nothing, right? It's just very bland, hard shell on the outside. You don't smell anything. Nothing's making me, gag or anything with this onion, right? It's good. But as we all know, when we start peeling back these layers on this onion and actually take a knife and cut deeper and deeper into the onion, these different layers, this hard shell becomes getting soft. We start seeing the white part of the onion on the inside, right? Which if we get lower and lower down to it, it smells, it's rough. It makes us tear up every now and then. And I was thinking about it that's how my brain thinks. When I was cutting this onion, I'm like, man, it's so tough to cut this onion right now. But I'm like, also, when you think about us learning ourselves as human beings and as we get older, we're kind of like this onion, right? So now we're going to get into it. Self-awareness is just like an onion. And I'm not going to hold this onion the whole time. Y'all seen the onion. All right, cool. We'll put it down. But literally life is like an onion though. Seriously though. We have like this hard shell, very bland. Nobody can really they can tell who you are, but not really. You can tell who you are, but not really. But until you really kind of get deep into yourself and deep into your process of your self-awareness and who you are and what God designed you to be and why you're here on this earth and all those type of things, you get a hard shell of an onion, right? And as you peel back each layer, it's going to be tough, right? It's going to get stanky a little bit. At the same time, you might get a few tears. The stink, the funk, the strength of getting deep inside yourself in its purest, rawest form can sometimes have you tear up. That's our self-awareness. You got to pull back these layers of depression. You got to pull back these layers of trauma. You got to pull back all these different layers to finally get in the middle and the core of yourself, just like an onion, right? Because as we all know, from a medicine standpoint, a holistic standpoint, what's the remedy? Because I'm from the South, y'all. So the remedy that my grandma used to say is, oh, that baby got a cold. You know what you do? Just cut you a red onion, all right? And you take the middle part of that onion, and you take a sock, you put it at the bottom of that baby's feet, all right? Then you put 2 socks over it, and what that onion's going to do by the next morning is going to pull all the toxins out of the baby. Now, why is that? Because the purest, most strongest form of an onion is in the core, the middle of the onion. But if the onion is in this state, you don't get that. This doesn't heal the baby. This doesn't heal you. See this right here? This is like your trauma and stuff. That's parts of the onion that you have to peel back to get to what? Now you start seeing how the onion's changing colors because we're getting to the root. We're getting to the real, the juice and berries, if you will, of the cure, the real pureness about this onion and its healing powers. And self-reflection and self-awareness is our holistic medicine, if you will. We have to peel back layers of ourselves, all of these fake propagandas and these these other worldly things that have absolutely nothing to do with how we are in our truest form. We have to peel all those back. We have to basically unlearn all these things and relearn something else. And relearning is our purest form of the onion, right? So of course that does take, and that goes to my ideology and my method. It does take some tears, right? As we all know, you cut that onion, the more you cut that thing, sometimes you got to just step away from it sometimes because that onion's so strong. You start tearing up, your eyes burn, right? You start sniffing up the nose, your pores open up, all that. That's the same thing with self-awareness. It's not comfortable, but it's necessary, right? I'm going to say it again. Self-awareness and getting yourself to be a better person is not comfortable, but it is necessary. Just like if you want a great meal, right? When it comes to pertaining to onions, you can't put the onion in whole like this. You can't just cut this up and put everything in there. That's a nasty meal, right? That's how we are as human beings. You can't have a nasty meal. To get to the good flavor and the things that's supposed to do that savory flavor, you got to get to deep inside of this onion, right? You have to cut it and take off all these layers. You understand what I'm saying? You got to take all these layers off of this onion to be able to get to the core of what you need. You're not going to heal your baby. You're not going to heal that fever. You're not going to heal that sickness and pull those viruses and stuff out of your body if you don't cut the onion to its purest form. That's all we got to do, y'all, with self-awareness. So don't look at it as it's supposed to be some easy process, right? You have to be aware of yourself. It's self-awareness. It's going to take some work. Just like when you cutting the onion, it takes some work. The onion's not an easy thing to cut. You got to put some elbow grease in. That's what my grandma said. You got to put some elbow grease in there, right? That's what you got to do with yourself. You have to be able to go through peeling those layers back. You got to be able to go through taking that knife and cutting in pretty deep. Places that's uncomfortable. You're going to have to deal with a little bit of tears every now and then. You got to deal with your eyes burning a little bit, right? You got to deal with it being uncomfortable because after a while, what we all do understand and do know, once you step away from that onion when it's burning and you come back, guess what happens? Your senses adjust. Your eyes don't burn as much, right? Your noses and everything is already cleared up, so it's not as harsh. So then your body starts to adapt to that new version of yourself in its purity. Just as if we were cutting the onion, that's the same thing we are with our own minds, our own ideologies and thought processes of being a human. It's the exact same thing. So next time when you're trying to go on your journey, or in like myself, I'm in the process of my journey right now, learning myself. Yes, it's supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. That's the whole point. But at the end of the day, it's what we need to do to set ourselves free and to get the purest form of ourselves, right? You have to fight through those tears. You have to fight through all those type of things for your self-awareness and get to the purest point of what you're trying to be as a human. And let me kind of break this down a little bit. So I'm gonna get off that method because y'all get what I'm trying to say, right? Self-awareness is just not just for you. For my instance, I only can speak from my own experiences. I'm a leader of my household. I have my wife, Jasmine. I have my two children, Noni and Nasur. If I'm not self-aware or trying to understand how I am and how I react and why I react a certain way and how I need to be talked to, how do I need to be loved, how do I need all of these different things. If I don't understand it, how can I be an effective leader, right? Because if I don't understand myself and my job as a parent, and I'm only talking about my children for right now, my job as a parent is to lead somebody to make them an adult and be a good person in society. How am I able to do that to its best ability when I don't even know myself? How am I supposed to think that my son is supposed to have this self-awareness of himself and high self-esteem when his own father doesn't know himself? Or my daughter Noni, how am I supposed to be able to, by the time she turns 18, she goes off to college or whatever they decide to do or whatnot, but be on her own or live on her own when that time comes. And I didn't put all of the things that I'm supposed to put inside of her to be able to be a functioning human being. And let's be honest, y'all know I'm a dad. Stay away from them little boys, or pick the right little boy. You get what I'm saying? How I don't feel comfortable doing that if I haven't done the work myself, right? Because naturally, she's gonna pick a male just like her father. So if I'm beat up, or if I'm just a shell with nothing really to it, right? There's no smell, there's no purity. I can't nurture anybody. I'm not at my purest form right now. She's gonna pick somebody like that. So that's what I'm charged with, right? And that's why this self-awareness thing is not just for me, but it's for everybody around me. Take it from another aspect. Me being a husband with my wife, Jasmine. How am I supposed to make a safe environment? An environment where she can communicate, where she can love, where she can talk, feel free. How am I going to be able to do that if I don't understand how to communicate? If I don't understand to express my own feelings? If I don't know what I actually need? You get what I'm saying? Like, those type of things are important. A lot of times in relationships, we sit there and be like, well, I need communication. Okay, the person can communicate, but when they communicate, say, okay, now what do you need? And if she asks me and I have no idea because I haven't digged into myself to really find out the things that I need and want, and I just sit there and tell her, oh, I don't know, well, she's supposed to figure that out herself. You understand what I'm saying? That self-awareness piece, that getting to the core of your onion, is vitally important for not just yourself and for you to be fulfilled, and so you can be in this atmosphere, in this world, and when life's, it's not gonna knock you off your rocker so much. You get what I'm saying? Because you are safe and secure about what you got going on and who you are as a person. Because life gonna life. People gonna piss you off every day. That's just what it is. People gonna make you upset. There are other people that haven't been on their self journey, so they're unaware of what they got going on and what they do and how that affects other people. All that kind of stuff. And sometimes you're gonna be an ended bystander. You're gonna take them straight bullets. But if you are good and stable with yourself and understand yourself and done the work, right? It's easy for you to deal with life and those people head on because now you have a solid foundation and it helps everybody around you. All right. So y'all, this is not too long. I just really wanted to get into that though, because it hit me and I was like, yo, I got to tell them about this. It's working. It's working for me, right? If life and you feel like you can't really push on, or it's like, man, this is just getting too heavy right now. Think about it. You just an onion. You just an onion. And life right now is peeling off your layers, right? And you peeling off your layers and understanding yourself and learning yourself a little more. So embrace that process. Embrace lifing. Because now you know what you're made of. You're going to keep peeling back these layers. I will peel back more, but I don't want to cry with this onion. But y'all get what I'm saying. It's okay. We have to go through those tough, weird situations, weird feelings, crying, emotional distress. All those things are not all bad things. We're getting to the real root of what we are, right? We have to dig a little deeper into ourselves to pull out a better version of us, man. That's just all it is. That's all it is. So when life's again, think of yourself as an onion. If that helps you get through it, think of it that way. I'm just getting some layers peeled back because the more layers I get pulled back, the purest I'm getting, right? And that's all you got to do, man. I'm telling you. So look, I know this is very, very different type of method, but I think it makes sense. Life is definitely like an onion. Our self-awareness is like an onion. The more layers you pull back, the better human being you will be. The more layers you pull back, you're going to have to fight through some tears or whatnot. But at the end of the day, you'll get to the purest form of yourself, all right? So look, like always, y'all go out to this world. Y'all be helpful. Y'all help somebody out. And remember, I'll see y'all next week. All right, peace.